the empire is very big. It is reasonable to assume, and there is good evidence, that at some periods in some places, the army is there to put down a rebellion, perhaps to deter any rebellion from happening. So there's often 2 legions near Alexandria. Alexandria is not under any external threat, but it is prone to rioting and intercommunal violence. Judea has a stronger garrison than it seems to justify from any external threat. So this clearly happens. On the other hand, overall, the army is pretty small in proportion to the empire. Therefore, it's hard to see how it could have held down the entire empire by force. There's not enough soldiers around. And there are concentrations. Britain has an apparently disproportionately large army stationed here, and an awful lot of it for a long time is up in the north, Hadrian's Wall, Antonine Wall, that area. So there's something going on. Comes back to the point made at the beginning. Roman soldiers are not just something that allow the emperor to feel strong, they're also a threat. You don't, apart from the reluctance of any government to pay for an army it doesn't need because it's expensive, in the Roman case they are dangerous. And some decisions are made clearly on the basis of how this affects the emperor's position. So Domitian, for instance, ends the practice where in some bases you had 2 legions in the same fortress. He splits those up so there's only ever 1. And the explanation given by Suetonius is because the treasury that represented, the pay chest basically for those units, was so big that it was a very good source of funds for anybody with ambitions to overthrow the emperor. So less directly the threat of the soldiers than the money they represent. Later on, in later antiquity, we'll come back to this in the future, the structuring of provinces, the reduction of a big province like Britain into 4 or 5 smaller ones, and then within each of those provinces dividing civil and military authority, doesn't seem to be to do with efficiency. It seems to be to do with making sure that nobody has too much power and can rebel against you.